Who gets up early in the morning and do a podcast?
You and I. Well, thank you for saying that. So, welcome, welcome to our next podcast where we are digging deeper into great women for March being Women's History Month. And today, I am so honored to have Miss Pam Price. We call each other Batman and Robin, but we try to do so much working together with the community. And so I'm going to let Pam speak and say a little bit about what she does with CPS, but not only that, but what she does with the community at large.
Good morning, everyone. As Principal Anderson, one of my favorite principals in the district, said, I work for family and community engagement at Chicago Public Schools. A lot of people call it the FACE department. I am the director of Parent
Well,
University
you are the
as
face,
well as
though.
CAC. And what do I do? Oh, wow. We do so much in family and community engagement. But I do right now, I deal with the parent universities. I'm one of the overseers of the parent university. And what we're trying to do is bring community together within CPS. We're trying to build a bridge. We're building partnership. And what all we can do to help our families in their time of need now.
Wow. So when we talk about women's history and all this work that you're doing, like you're creating history, right? Because a lot of this hasn't been done with schools. Did you ever think that this is what you would be doing when you were younger, like in high school, college? Were you like, I'm going to work for the community?
You know what? That's funny he said that. I tried to run away from it because I didn't think I would be doing this. I ended up working at the YMCA. That was one of my first journeys. And I always cared about what happens to people. I always cared about the underdog and they need. And as matured and got older, I tried to run away from this stuff. I went to do cosmetology. I'm a licensed cosmetologist. I can be a teacher doing cosmetics. But something about education. When I had children, they got into the school system. And way back then at that time, let me not go too way back,
Right.
they needed me at the school. Um, we've been struggling a long time trying to get parents more engaged in the school. And my first task was running for the local school council.
Oh, yes, local school council.
Yeah, and I went to the school. I just had moved in the neighborhood, and I went to the neighborhood school, and take it. I'm a graduate from Newberry Elementary School. I went to Lincoln Park on the north side, and when got ready to put my kids in school, I just couldn't believe I had to put them there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when the local school council first came out, and I said, you know what? Anybody can complain. Why don't I roll up my sleeve and try to help solve the problem that they had at the school? So I ran for the local school council, and that just started my journey into Chicago Public Schools.
I did not know you were on the local school council.
Yeah, I was on three of them. I was
Wow.
cray-cray, wasn't I?
3 different schools?
Three different schools, elementary, middle, and high school at that time.
That just talks about how the groundwork was being laid for you as you started this journey to becoming, this job now of face and parents, dealing with parents. I think it's easier to talk to parents when you've been where they are versus talking to them and you have no clue or connection to what they've been doing. So when you think about that, like you are inspiration to so many of these parents that come through. I would say even principals, just because you've done so much and you're able to get in words of wisdom. Who would you say are some of the people that like inspired you to even do some of these things?
Oh wow, we had some great people back in the day. One of the person was Carlos Escortio.
Uh huh.
He used to be over the Department of Local School Council, but he also was a community leader. I would say Denise Little.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Her name has come
wow,
up in 3 podcasts already.
really?
Yeah.
Mm. Wanda Washington.
Yes.
Oh boy, I would say Chip Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Each one of them, I guess, added a piece, I guess, to my life as I was getting into education and stuff. But they all taught me something, how to deal with people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the key right now. We have to learn to listen more and learn to deal with people.
So why do you think we don't listen more? Do you think I would tell you my idea on it is because we're in such a rush to get things done. We become a microwave society, and I said that before. But is that what you see, or do you see something else that makes us?
I often wonder because I don't sleep at night. So I often wonder, I said, what is it? How can we better serve our folks? But I think it's a paradigm shift now
Mm-hmm.
where one time we were all gun ho about education. And now I see families got a lot more than to deal with. I was talking to some parents last week and I asked them, I said, tell me how we can better serve you. What do we need to do to reach you all, to get you to come in?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the parents told me, Miss Price, can I be honest with you? I said, yeah, be honest with me. She said, right now, we worried about our kids making it back home,
Mm-hmm.
going to school and making it back home. It's so much going on right now. And then she said, I got to worry about how I'm going to pay my light, my gas bill, and I'm going to put food on the table
Mm-hmm.
for my family. And then at the same breath, reinvent myself.
Right.
And I said, what you mean reinvent yourself? She said, a lot of us lost our jobs. We just
During
don't
the
know how to pick up
pandemic, yeah.
pick up the pieces. So, I started thinking we got to do a lot more reaching them where they at,
Mm-hmm.
not telling them or directing them to do this because we think they should do it. Reaching them where they at.
So that's interesting. I always that's one of my things. You should really reach people where they are, and then you should deal with them there to help bring them up. And I feel like that for students too. Like sometimes I think we expect them to be, at ABC when we might need to, reach down and help them get to that level. And sometimes that's difficult because of the way we have to work through things. Have you found this difficult, or like, what would be the magic wand to make this happen?
You know what? That hasn't came to me yet. And
Okay.
I thought about it. What could we do? I know we need to be more patient with
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people because a lot of our families are going through so many different things, and you just don't know.
Yeah, but because we got to move, we got to get this going, we got to make the change. I can see where sometimes parents can feel like um, they don't really care about me. They're just trying to make a number. And it's not about making a number, but it's about we want that change to happen. Like some days, I even look at our students and I'm like, I want that to happen now for you. I want it, and in their minds, they're like, why are you pushing me on that? And it's because I can see further about where they can go sometimes more further than they can. You know what I'm saying? And so because I don't know everything that happens in a household, my push is pushing them, but maybe something in the household might be pulling them back too as well.
I think that's why we got to do a better job in bringing the family in
Mhm.
because I constantly hear them say, "Well, we're invisible." Nobody says that the parents are the first teachers no more.
Right.
They just do what they want to do and not include us. So I think now we're dealing with the whole family. We're not just dealing with the student. We have to work on a better way on how we're going to bring parents and the whole family in.
Yeah. So as we think about that and start moving, and as it is Women History Month, um, let's shout out a few of the women that have been really like instrumental in helping, like just the movement that because you haven't done it all by yourself.
You know, um, we have a community person over here, Miss Moretta Brown Miller.
Yes.
Miss Moretta Brown Miller is at every single
Mm-hmm.
meeting. And if you want to know anything about the Park District, go to Moretta.
Maretta knows. Maretta knows.
Yes, and another one I would say Natasha.
Natasha Smith Walker.
Yeah, she's another great one out there. I watches how she thrives on how could I bring more research. We got to meet them at the early age
Mm-hmm.
and the programs that have actually came through the community and stuff.
Yeah, both of those two that you named used to be cat chairs,
Yes.
right?
Uh-huh.
And their heart is in the whole Austin community through and through. Like if you cut them, they just bleed Austin.
Right,
Like
right, right.
there's no other way to say that they don't have any other mixture of blood in them but Austin, which I totally appreciate. And so shout out to both of them. But let's also dig a little deeper into like if you had that magic wand for women, because as you've been talking about like families, I know most of it has been women, right?
Yeah.
And we are doing this podcast because we want to honor women as well. So if you had that magic wand, what would you wave that would maybe just lift the burden or make parents ready or make women ready to maybe even help their children shine even the more?
Ooh, that's a hard question right there. But you know what?
That's what I'm supposed to do. Hard questions. I learned that when I watched other talk shows. They always ask one question to stump the person. So that was my job.
You know what? I just think right now, I know a lot of us are very religious.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the first thing that we got to do is, I think we got to pray more.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now, I don't think nobody has the number one answer on what we can do. But I do know that a lot of our families and even us as staff members, we need uplifting.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't remember a time that I've seen people at this low
Yeah.
level. So I just want to say pray more,
Mm-hmm.
because I just can't think what would be the answer right now.
Yeah, as I think about when you say pray more, prior to the pandemic, everybody was making sure they went to church, right? And then once the pandemic came and we had to learn how to have church at home, some people just got very comfortable being at home for church, right? And so maybe we need to get them back into the church. Um, I don't know. I'm just throwing that out as an example. But also, you don't have everybody is not as religious, so they wouldn't think about like let me pray. But I would think too also that as we talk about pushing, maybe having like the classes that welcome parents in, but there's got to be some kind of way to hook them into the welcoming in.
Well, I've looked at that as well, and I'm learning. Just like when we go to conferences and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
we don't want to go to no conference that's boring and we got to
Yeah.
sit there. So I've learned now is to always ask them, tell me, what are you interested in?
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to do? What do you need help in to help yourself, to help your kid?
Yeah.
And those have turned out to be the best classes or the best programs that we have had in things that they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm learning they don't want to just sit there and have bake sales and stuff like that.
Right.
Our parents are community members. They want to do
They
something.
want to feel like they're a part.
Right.
So let me ask this last question as we start wrapping up. And I'm trying to ask it where it's not a yes no answer because I know that it really is a yes no answer. And I haven't framed it so that you can't just say yes or no. So you're going to expound on it. Just telling you right
I'll
now.
try. I'll try.
When I think about Chicago, we're so diverse, and there's so many different needs. Is there really like a one stop fit all? Like when you think about like parent university, or when you think about reaching the community or getting them involved, is there really like a one stop shop that we could create, or does it almost have to be for each community or each neighborhood that gets something different when you talk about trying to bring them together or trying to get them involved?
No, I don't think it's
I
a
told
one
you could
stop.
just ask one
I
with
know. Look.
a.
I don't think it's a one stop shop because I'm looking at we got so many needs out here,
Mm-hmm.
and that was another journey that I'm on right now. That's why I invited all CBOs. If there's a nearest parent university near them in their area in their community, go in and be a part of this. We need all of us. To me, this is the village time.
Yeah.
It's time to beat the drums. This is where we need everybody in, because I don't think it's no one answer that could solve that.
So, Ms. Price, let me just tell you that you have been an inspiration pushing parents. I know sometimes it is tiring. I know sometimes you want to give up on this and you want to probably go back to the YMCA or something like that. But I wanted to have this conversation with you because I wanted you to keep going. Like, I know this is tiring, and I know sometimes it's hard to hear that. But when I think about all of the women leaders that have led us, um, they did it maybe not knowing that they were making history. You know, I said to someone the other day, do you think when Rosa Parks sat on the at the front that she thought, I'm going to make history day and I'm going to sit here? Or did she believe in something and stand up for it and it became historical, you know? And so I feel like you believe in something, right? But it's not because you're doing it because you're like, I'm going to make history. But I think what you're doing is becoming historical. And there so many parents that have come through you, that have learned from you. And I would even say principals, assistant principals, and other colleagues that have learned from the work that you've been doing. And so I would leave you with this, that as you work hard through this, because it's going to get worse, it's going to get worse,
Don't say that.
because sometimes it gets pitch dark before it gets light. And sometimes it's like, how much can we endure to stand? And so today I wanted to honor you by just having this conversation for our listeners about women in history so that they would know you are a history maker.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you.
And that wasn't even scripted. I didn't have a script or anything to say
Mm-mm.
that. So that came straight from the heart.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. No, but you know what? I know I can't give up, and it is days that I just want to stop with the bureaucracy out here that we have to go through
Hmm.
and stuff. But I look at the parents and I look at the people in the community, and that let me know I got to keep on.
Yeah, someone said to me, when you are a public servant, it never ends. Even if you stop that job, you go serve somewhere else. So as a public servant, I was like, it never ends? What do you mean? They were like, no, you pretty much leave that. Maybe you leave that office and go to another office. So, but you're always a public servant because it's always it's your calling basically. And no matter how much you don't want to do all the time, you're calling. It keeps you going.
I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe that.
So thank you guys so much. Be ready for the next one that's coming out. I'm so honored that we had an opportunity to talk to Miss Price and talk about Parent University and women in history. So I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.
Thank you.